Right, so enough playing around with video. Good morning still, because it is morning for me. I have no idea what time it is for you, but for me it's morning. I'm curious to know like what time you guys actually film, or not film, when you actually watch these videos. So if you want to add something in the comment section about the time that you're watching the video, you can. But on that note, don't forget that the comment section is for questions. If you have a question, or if you just want to say how awesomely fantastic my hair is today, you're welcome to do so in the comment section. I think somebody actually said it was maybe a 7th grader, maybe it was one of you guys as parents, or maybe it was a 5th grader, but they were like, I should be nominated for an Oscar. That'd be terrible. Anyways, so I appreciate the compliment. I have a very shallow ego. I have a very weak ego, and I need it to be fed. It must be bigger. Anyways, so moving on to the lesson. Today, we are going to first start with some vocabulary words. Last lesson, I asked you what contingent and convey means. Nobody said anything. I was sitting here looking for you, and all of you were just sitting there quietly. So, I found out. Contingent means contingent. Contingent. I don't know how to say this. But apparently it's the same thing. Clearly, Hungarians have Hungarianized the word. You know what that means, right? Hungarianize. Magyaráz. Did I just blow your mind? Okay, so anyways, it actually means füg. Füg. It means that it is connected to something. Attól függ. Ez a legjobb magyarázás. Hungarianize. Amit nem látszik, mert a fény. Tükröződést. Anyways, so contingent means that. The other word was convey. Convey? Közvetít. I'm so glad that we got that done with. Now, these were the vocabulary words. No thanks to you. Next up, we are going to talk about, page 72. It's right here. Page 72. This is such a fun reading exercise. And I'm sorry for 7C because you guys have Marika, so I know she is teaching you straight out of the book. Straight out of the book. That means like all of this, straight to you. Straight to you. Anyways, so we're going to be talking about this. I figured, even though you're learning with Monica and you're doing this, I'm going to teach it the way I would, because then you probably will learn it wrong from me and right from Monica and Amy. If you're in my group, just ignore what I said. Anyways, moving on. So, first off, let's read. Don't you love when I read to you? It's fantastic. Apparently, this whole thing is about teenagers and all the problems that teenagers have. Teenagers are so whiny. I hate you guys. Teenagers suck. Anyways, so I'm going to do my best to sound like a teenager. And, right. Let's go. So, first one is problem page. We're looking at page 72, by the way. Thank you, Zazu, for finally opening your book. Sesti, it's the purple book. I know your clothes are all over the room. Find this book and read along with us. All right, that was Sesta, by the way. Not Bestie, not Festy, but Sesti, because I have so many Esters in this class. Anyways, let's start with number 1, because that's how it works usually. 1 is where we start. Have you got a problem? Write to Katrina for advice. Apparently I'm Katrina now, so instead it's going to be write to Mr. B for advice. Because you want to get my... Oh, that's funny. You're going to take my advice. Don't. All right. I've got a real problem with my parents. I'm 14, and a boy from school has asked me out on a date. So, me? Wanted you. Szerintem... Ja, igen. So, we're supposed to fill it in with this. Az azt mondja, hogy my parents have never time for me. How can I talk to them? I'm getting really fed up with it. When they read it, I'm sure they say that I haven't said anything to my parents about it yet. Igen, ez az. So number H. Number H. H. I haven't said anything to my parents about it yet. I know that if I tell them, they'll just say no, because they think that I'm too young to go out with boys. I really want to go on the date. Should I say that I'm going somewhere with my friends? Megan from Birmingham. And then I guess Katrina is answering this. So Mr. B's advice is, yes, this is a common problem between teenagers and parents. I'm sure that your parents are only trying to protect you. However, it's never a good idea to tell lies. If your parents find out, you'll be in real trouble. Then number 2, jó, azt meg kell keresni. I think it's D. Talk to them about it and try to reassure them. Why not invite the boy to your house to meet them first? Perhaps that will solve it. Really? So anyways, so he says to tell your parents about it. I'm a parent now. If my teenager, or if my daughter were a teenager, so when she grows up, becomes a teenager, and if she came to me with this, yeah, I want to know. But I don't want to know because I am caring about it. It's not because I think that I should know as a parent. I want to know because I want to have the opportunity to scare the crap out of him. If she brings him over, I'll be like, oh yeah, bring over your boyfriend or this guy. Ooh. And then, first of all, she's going to get made fun of. It's going to be like, who's your boyfriend? Which is going to embarrass her totally really bad. And then when he comes over, I'm going to wear my martial arts uniform. And I'm going to be sharpening knives, right? And there's going to be my gun just sitting on the desk somewhere, and I'm going to be like, what's your name? All right, Botti. Uh-huh. Yeah, what's up? Hold on, can you carry this for me? I'm just totally embarrassing, but freaky, and try to scare him. Or maybe I'm just going to be like, you touch my daughter, I will kill you. I teach people how to kill. Right? That would be so much fun. Oh, I can't wait for this. I hope she's dating. So anyways, this is the terrible advice Mr. B gives you. All right, moving on. Number 2. So, it's the yellow one. This is some rocker dude. Yeah, he's got a garage band. Okay, let's see what he says. So, I play the electric guitar with a band. I want to leave school next year so that I can go on tour with the band. But my parents say that I have got to stay on at school. Number 3. They say that I won't get a good job if I don't go to university. I like school, but I want to be a rock star, and I think we're good enough to be really famous. Yeah! See, that was good, right? And then again, back to Mr. B's advice. I don't have my tie on. Anyways, a lot of young people dream about being rock stars, sports stars, fashion models, and so on. It's good to have ambition in life. That's one of the good sides of being young, when your whole adult life is in front of you. However, my advice to you is to listen to your parents. In this case, they're right. And don't worry, the music world will still be there when you finish university. Is this guy ever going to say something that isn't going with your parents? It's always about your parents. Why is it never against your parents? Are your parents always right? What's up with that, right? I don't think my parents were always right. They did a lot of not smart things. So, whatever. They were good parents. I'm not saying that my parents were bad. If they ever see these videos, my parents were great. They were fantastic parents. But anyways, so yeah. I would say the same though. If this was my daughter and she was in a band, I would totally be like, no, you're going to college. But honestly though, okay, time for a long explanation here, I'm sorry. But nowadays, okay, I don't think getting into a band and thinking you're going to be famous is actually the right thing to do, because you're not. I mean, the chances of being famous in a band is about the same as the chances of becoming a super famous football player. One in like 20,000,000 will actually be famous and rich. The rest of them are all going to get like, and then nothing. And the worst thing is that it wastes time out of your life when you could be doing something else. However, what I will say is that the idea of going to university and getting a job and having a secure life is overrated. So parents, if they're in the room, right now is the time that I want you to put on your headphones, because the advice I'm going to give you will probably not agree with your parents. But I think that the future has a lot more opportunity for people who know how to be creative and know how to work. Notice I'm not saying people who go to college. I think college at this point, if you have to pay for it, especially in America, is a waste of money for many people. In Europe, it's different because here, especially in Hungary, it's free. So here, go to college, because at least you have a degree. But in America, it's becoming so expensive to go to college that unless you get a scholarship, yeah. Now, if you want to be an accountant, go to college. Doctor, college, right? If you want to be a professional, you have to go to college. But if you want to open your own business, run a martial arts school, be in a band, play an instrument, a lot of these things, be a famous YouTuber, you don't need college for that. But you better be good at it, and you better be the best, and you better make money at it, and you better work at it. So it's a double-edged sword. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's an idiom. That's my advice. Next up, let's listen to this girl. You often have letters from kids. Where am I? Okay, yeah, so this is the girl. You often have letters from kids who want more freedom from their parents, but I've got the opposite problem. Where is it? My parents never have time for me. My dad travels a lot on business, and my mom's always busy with something. I usually eat on my own. If I want someone to talk to, my parents are never there. Gemma from Leeds? Leeds? Sorry, I did that with like the California accent, so that's like the dumb California blonde. Actually, this girl doesn't sound dumb. I should have done this with the first one. But, yeah, so this girl is talking about how she, basically her parents are never there. So let's see what the advice says. Yes, you can have too much of a good thing. This is a difficult situation. My usual advice is to talk to parents. No crap. But if they aren't there, that won't be easy. What a smart guy. You can't talk to your parents if they're not there. I had no idea. I think you should write to them and tell them how you feel. When they read it, I'm sure they'll do something to help. It's much more difficult to ignore something that's written down. I don't know, this is hard. My parents were the same. Growing up, my mom and dad were never there. My dad was working, he was there a lot. My mom was never there. She was always working. Like she would get up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning to go to work, come home at 7 at night, and by that point I was always out doing martial arts. So what happened? I became independent. I lived my own life. My parents and I were not that close. I talked to them every now and then, but like before I had my child, I would maybe talk to them once every 4 months, 3 months, I don't know. Like I would hardly ever talk to them. So maybe this is bad. I don't have good advice because I'm not a good example. So, moving on. If your parents are ignoring you, I don't know, yell at them? No, that's bad advice. Don't yell at your parents, ever. Next up, number 4. This is the cool-looking guy. All right, you ready? I used to get on well with my mom and dad, but now that I'm a teenager, we seem to disagree on everything. And we argue all the time. It's all, do this, do that. You can't stay in bed all day, so get up. I'm getting really fed up with it. I think I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Fred from Bristol. When you're young, your parents make decisions for you. They choose your clothes, organize your time, and so on. When you're a teenager, it's natural that you want to do some of these things for yourself. Where are we? However, it can take time for both parents and teenagers to adjust. Why not make a list of things that you want to decide for yourself? Then discuss it with your parents and try to reach an agreement. A calm discussion is always better than an argument. So, that was the advice from the book. Yeah, I don't know. This one, again, I didn't have a problem with. My parents were pretty good about just letting me do whatever. I was also a little bit of a brat growing up. Like, I would always be like, no, I don't want to do that, you know. And so, of course, no, let me do this. And they did. They gave me independence. And then all of a sudden now, this is what happens. We don't talk. No, we do talk. We're actually really good. Like I said, my parents are great. They're wonderful. But, yeah, all of you are going through this right now. You all want to do stuff on your own. You have to remember that your parents care about you. It's not like they're telling you these things because they want to control you. They care. That's all. All of this comes from them being like, ooh, I worry that you're gonna, you know, right? They want you to dress up warm in case you go outside. Rosichka does this to me. It's funny. Like, it really is. Like, every time I go from here to the school, right? Because, you know, this 20 meters, I will go outside not wearing a coat. And she's like, where's your coat? You're going to get sick. And I'm like, you can't get a virus from nothing. Wow, I just realized what I said and how that pertains to the current environment. But anyway, so she always yells at me about, like, catching a cold, which is ridiculous wives' tale. It's a, you know, silly thing that people believe here. No, you won't. You won't catch a virus with wet hair. It's impossible. You catch a virus from someone. You don't just go outside with wet hair and it's like, oh, I caught a virus. How? Where? From how? Whom? So anyways, whatever. I'm done ranting. The point is, they care. Ruzichka cares about me. She wants me to be okay, so she makes me, or yells at me when I don't wear a coat. Idwan. Alright, now, moving on. So, we did all of page 1 together. Woo, that was fun. Next up, we're talking about number 2. Complete the sentences with the correct name. Blah, blah, blah. Blank has a lot of arguments with his mom. This is reading comprehension. I'm not going to do this with you. I'm sure Moriko is going to do it with you at some point. I think you understand all of this. If you don't understand what I just read, no, I'm kidding. Leave a comment. So if you don't understand it, definitely leave a comment and I will answer some questions for you. And it will be good because I know you're shy because you don't want to be like, oh, if I ask a question, everybody's going to think I'm stupid. No, we already think you're stupid. But also, just kidding. The reason is if you leave a question, then everybody sees it. And chances are that everybody has a similar question and you just did everybody a favor by putting that question out there. So it's actually good to ask these questions. Even if you think you might feel stupid for doing it, everybody's going to be like, thank you. Because everybody's thinking the same. Except for Dave. He's weird. All right. The next part is section 3. I can't see the screen right now, but I'm going to show you next. Section 3 is right there. This is section 4. Actually, it's section 4 that I want to talk about. This is hard. Verbs to nouns. So on the chart here, it talks about these verbs to noun. And yes, it's not that hard. So you have your verb here, okay? Like argue. And then your noun, and you know verb, noun, you know what these are. Ige, vanev. So your noun is going to be argument. I love this because this is starting to get to one of the higher, more difficult things in English. We're no longer learning the basic grammar stuff, present perfect, past simple. We're learning some of the more advanced stuff that's in like C1, C2 level English. English and Hungarian does this too. Hungarian has the root word and then it has all these different variations of the word, you know. And now I can't give you an example because my Hungarian is just out of my head right now. But English does the same thing. So like obviously argue, vitatkozni, argument, vitatkozás, I think is Hungarian for that. So you can see Hungarian and English are similar. The problem is that usually in Hungarian it's very logical, the way that they build these words. In English, it's not. I'm sorry. Sorry, English sucks. So this just doesn't follow any logic, but you just have to learn it. Sorry, that's just how it is. So the other thing that's really hard about this is they're introducing collocations. We have learned collocations several times. Once in 4th grade, that's when we started learning collocations. We learned it again in 6th grade, and now here it shows up again. A collocation is the way that we say things for which there is no rule. It's just that way. And sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, but you just have to learn it. Sorry. So here, the collocation is what it's talking about, to have an argument. These collocations is where foreigners make the most mistakes. So I'm telling you right now, all of you, listen to this. When you are speaking English, the collocation, I'm going to write this down for you, collocation, is where you make the most mistakes. This is where you mess up. And this is how we can tell you are a foreigner, that you didn't learn English all the way correctly. So, I know I do the same. Hungarian's the same thing. It's like, mindig bízol valakiben. You don't have lehet rábízni that, these are collocations. You always say it this way. You never say it the other way. So, you have an argument. So in this case, when we use the word argument, it's always have an argument. They are having an argument. I had an argument with my parents yesterday. You could use continuous tense, they are arguing, de az az verb, az nem noun. Amikor használsz a noun, when you use the noun, then you have to understand the collocation. And that's what's difficult. So, let's look at the other ones. To discuss, as you know, that one is a discussion. And here, what is the difference between the two? Why is it discussion and not discussment? English, that's just English, It's not discussment, it's discussion. It's not argution. What? So here, the same thing. What is it? Well, here again, you have a discussion. We are going to have a discussion about this. The next one is adjust. What does adjust mean? I don't know. In Hungarian, I think it's javít, that's fix, repair, adjust, to, I don't know, once again, you guys have to help me out. What's adjust mean? Somebody. Nobody, because no one's here. So anyways, whatever, you guys figure it out. I know that you can look it up, Google's your friend, you're probably searching for it right now. Pause, and do that. So adjustment. So once again, the ment comes out. And what is the collocation here? Well, here the collocation is make. You make an adjustment. You don't have an adjustment. That's funny sounding if you have an adjustment. It is make. So I make an adjustment to my work. I'm going to make an adjustment to this video. I just adjusted it. I made an adjustment. See how it's make? Next up, decide. Döntés. To decide. Here, guess what? It's back to shun. Decision. But with one S. I know, it's weird. So whatever. To make, and again, notice how this one is make, a decision. So the collocation is make, to make a decision. And then, the next one is solve. Ooh, megoldani. So, megoldani is the verb. It's a solution. Megoldás. So this one they say find. Again. Yeah, find. That's the collocation for this. So like, I am going to find a solution to the problem. I want you to find me a solution, not an excuse. See how excuse, the verb is excuse. This is a heteronym. It's pronounced differently but spelled the same. Excuse, excuse. So if we're talking about that, I'll go and put that on here. Excuse, excuse. You'll learn about heteronyms in 8th grade. They're learning that right now, actually, the 8th graders. So here again, it's find. So this is a bonus one. You're welcome. And that's not in the book. So this is excuse, excuse. They're both the same word, but they're pronounced differently. Next, let's look at choose. Choose is a choice. Yeah, I know. See, this is why English sucks. It just makes no sense now. So we have argument. It's not choicement or choosement. It's not a choostion, right? It's a choice. Why? I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea. You have to look it up. And what is the collocation for this one? You have to make a choice. So this one's make. Why is it make? Because it is. It's not find, it's not have, it's make. Next is agree. Ooh. And here's a fun one. Agree. Egyetértesz. Egyetérteni. And so here it's an agreement. So the ment comes back, and now we have an agreement. And what are we going to do? Are we going to choose, or are we going to make, are we going to have, we're going to find? What is it? Oh, it's none of them, because English sucks. It's reach. Now, me off, why is it reach, right? I'm going to reach an agreement. I don't know why, but this is one that I hear foreigners mess up on a lot. You guys are like, oh, we need to make an agreement. Ha azt csinálsz, akkor egy szerződést írod. Ez nem úgy, hogy agree, we need to reach an agreement. Ez teljesen más jelent. So if I say I'm going to make an agreement, az, hogy fogok írni egy szerződést. But if I say I'm going to reach an agreement, akkor egyet fogunk érteni egymással. So this is huge. I'm going to find an agreement. That just doesn't even make sense. So, have an agreement? Nope. Mm-mm. Lastly, disagree. Of course, this is easy, right? Makes sense. Disagreement. Of course, that's totally obvious. Yay, English finally does something logical. So, we're going to reach a disagreement. Oh, no! Why? Really? Really? So you reach an agreement, but you have a disagreement? This is collocations. They suck. And in English, you just have to know. You just have to know this. But you cannot reach a disagreement. But you can reach an agreement. But you can't have an agreement. But you can have a disagreement. Raise your hand if you are confused. Okay, so next part is section B. In section B, it's talking about using some of these to answer those, whatever, or to fill in the blanks, I guess. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not easy. I was looking at this last night at like midnight, because I have no life. Anyways, yeah, it's not easy at all. Some of these can be used more than once, and you have to figure out how they go in there. So I don't usually agree with my parents. If we disagree on something, we usually it, and try. So you see how this is, yeah, you got to figure that out. I'm not going to do this one for you. This, you need to do. And then the answers to this are going to come right now. So here's what I want to do. You have to, yeah. Pause the video, fill out the form, and then I'm going to answer all of them for you because I don't feel like typing this out for you in OneNote because I'm tired of typing. So here's what's going to happen. Pause. I blinked. See, you didn't pause it. Anyways, pause the video and then I'm going to answer it. So here we go. The answers are coming now, so you better pause the video and fill this out. If you don't do this at home in your textbooks, I'm going to haunt your everlasting soul. If you cheat and just listen to all the answers, I swear, you will never find rest for eternity. Okay, here comes the answers. I don't usually agree with my parents. If we disagree on something, we usually argue it and try to reach an agreement or a solution. And, so it's an agreement. Yeah, so we usually argue it, discuss it. Just kidding, see, I gotta figure this out better. We usually discuss it and try to reach an agreement. You won't a problem by having an about it. You won't solve a problem by having an argument about it. I think that's it. Or by having, an argument about it. When we're young, our parents... Really? Anyways, this could be from here, but whatever. I just realized that it might be on the other page, but I'm just going to figure out the answers on my own. So, when you're young, our parents decide most things for us, but teenagers want to make their own decisions. Some parents find it easy to make the adjustment to living with a teenager, but others find it hard to solve. This one's in the book. Others make it hard to... Yeah, it's somewhere in there. Transition is what I would say, but whatever. Some parents find it easy to make the adjustment to living with the teenagers, but others find it hard to solve, to maybe adjust, discuss. Yeah, there you go. I think so. Hard to agree, whatever. Every year, quite a lot of teenagers, see, like I said, this is hard. Every year, quite a lot of teenagers decide to run away from home after they've had an argument with their parents. I want to choose my own clothes. I'm going to wear them, so I should make the decision. So there you go. Those were the answers. I hope you got them right. If you didn't, neither did I on some of them. So that was everything to do with the collocations, nouns, and verbs. A few extra ones I want to give you, just so that way you guys have a little bit wider knowledge. So let's talk about apologize. So now that we've finished the book stuff, this is some extra ones. Maybe it's going to be on your test. Something got in my eye. I'm sorry. So apologize is apology. Right? That's a fun one because it doesn't follow any rule at all. It's just apologize, apology. And here we make an apology. So, where'd my notes go? So make an apology is how it's worked. You must go apologize to your sister. Here, I want you to accept my apology. Accept is a little bit funny, but that's usually how this works is apologize is you want to make an apology. That was ugly, so I'm going to write it again because I want pretty handwriting. So make an apology. Next up, we have realize, another eyes. So how do we turn this into a noun? It becomes, are you ready for this? A realization. A realization. Realize, realization. And once again, this is have. I'm going to have a realization. He had a realization. It's weird how this works. You don't make a realization, you have it. You make an apology, yes. Next one. Elect. Ooh, this one's fun. You guys know this from earlier when we were doing the Világnyelv, back when we had it. I'm really sad because y'all are missing the best Világnyelv ever. Just saying. You know, it's sad that we missed that because it got cut down into like one lesson a week and all the fun stuff, learning about music, gone. Next year we'll see. If you guys, well, in 8th grade, I don't know. We'll see what happens in 8th grade. I'm going to be teaching the Világnyelv again. I think everything should go back to normal next year. So if it does go back to normal, then I might change some of the stuff that we do because I have a plan, but I can change it. And I might set it up so that we do some different things. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know next year what we're going to do next year. In the meantime, elect turns into an election. How did you know that? Good job, presidents. So which one is it? What's the collocation here? Make, reach, find, have? Have. Good job, guys. Y'all knew this one. We have an election. So election, elect. The last one is, of course, announce. What does announce mean? Kihangosít. Igazán. I think that's what it means. Anyways, so here we add the ment. It is an announcement. And do we have an announcement? No. Do you reach an announcement? No. Do we find an announcement? No. We make an announcement. I would like to make an announcement. Now it's time for your homework. Your homework does not fit on the board. Anyways, I'll show it to you. Your homework is on page 58. Right here. There it is. Numbers 1. So 58. Let me see the screen because it went black. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so page 58. Numbers 1, 2, and 3. 3. Do not do 4. So do 58, 1, 2, and 3. Ooh, that's hard. That's really weird. Backwards. Okay, so that's going to be your homework. Again, you know what to do. Take a picture of it and upload it to OneNote. I'll write it here for you. Homework. Of course, it's your workbook, so quit asking me. I hate it when you ask me those questions. Page 58. Numbers 1 through 3. So it's 1, 2, and 3. That is your homework. I am finished recording, and I will see you next week.